Oh, hello. This is not going to be anything exciting or interesting, I think. Just with with autumn really actually here, a little bit of chill in the wind, different feelings. I've entered something of that normal autumnal. Yes, that comes from my mishearing of Puff the Magic Dragon. Autumnal pensiveness. And I started thinking about age, and because I don't remember what it was, something, how I gamed, maybe twice as much or twice as intensely or something along those lines. Back, back when I was only 30, or in my 30s. And when I thought about that, I said to myself, my God, or gods, or whatever, my games, I can remember in my 30s thinking, when I was in my 20s. And obviously, with today's medicine, and, if I cut down on this or something, I've got a long way further to go, I'd say. A lot further to degenerate and get worse and worse. Once you... Some of the things that I do, the dancing especially, but other things too, have wreaked a certain damage on my body, especially my knees, but other things too. And my mind doesn't work the way it used to. I'm not saying I used to be sane or anything, but it used to fire off, it used to grasp things so quickly, it used to hold these conversations that really sort of distilled the essence of things, and just with myself, of course, because, and that doesn't happen anymore. And thoughts of age, I realize, oddly enough, it's as though passion has sort of flowed away from me. I mean, I loved so intensely and so deeply and so painfully up until I met my ex-wife. And maybe throughout our, certainly for years after we were together. And it hurt so bad when we parted. Hurt both of us, but I don't know if I can ever feel that way again. It's strange because even sort of my most dramatic crushes or loves or whatever that grasped my life and ruled it in the sense that I made life decisions on it, to stay in a town, to try to go to grad school, things like that, at least to apply to a certain school that I didn't make it to, but that's okay. All these things were driven by the memory, the need for that again. And somewhere after I moved here, I'm pretty sure, it all sort of dissipated, but it may have happened before that. And it's not like, I'm married now. I love my wife. But it's almost as though my capacity to be how I was up until not so very long ago in that is gone. It's almost as though buying into this normal life has deprived me of so much. But it may just be so many times going out and never clicking with anyone. And it's the same feeling that I have when I'm looking. I mean, it's not just love or my hormones or anything like that. It's also with gaming, and I think I've reflected that in some of my other discussions. You know, once upon a time, I can remember in my teens, I went out, and whenever I got to a big city, I wanted to go find a game store, and I wanted to find gamers, and I wanted to understand that and grasp that. And again, over a period of time in Buffalo, this started to decrease. It started to become more, I have enough. I stopped reaching out. I had a small group of gamers, a slowly decreasing group of gamers that eventually dropped down to nothing, in the sense, oh, you know, I mean, we'd play every now and then after a while. But it used to be once or twice a week, and before that, I lived in the game house, you know, the place where everybody would go to game, and people would just show up and knock on my door and come in and expect there'd be a game going. And if there wasn't, well, we'd sit around, watch TV and play cards, or nuclear war, or cosmic encounter, or whatever. So it's been this long decline, right? Most of it external to me, most of it a matter of other people finding lives, leaving that college atmosphere kind of drew it away. And every time reaching out, when we'd go to game campus, we were finding no one. And every now and then we would find someone, but the stretches between when we would add new gamers became longer and longer, and it was obvious that the hobby was disappearing. And now, you know, in this time, there's probably people playing Euros and stuff all over the place. And had I been young in this time, I would be going out and finding them and playing and enjoying what I could take there, and trying to push them more towards my tastes, trying to grasp those who would be interested, in the same way that maybe I was more willing to cope with other people and to deal with them in other ways, and therefore more open to finding people that I'd click with on not just gaming, but also, you know, someone I'd be attracted to who would be attracted to me. But these disappointments, it's like they build up. It's not like I've had a life full of disappointments in either case. I've had these positives, but the disappointments have built up and grown this poison. The feelings that I had before I went to college were that this would be my life, not with a wife, but I would be alone, I would be playing my game solitaire, I would be doing... I didn't imagine it could be as good as having work from home, but I would be doing this little, you know, technical job that uses my abilities, but not really interacting with anyone, not finding anyone, because the slice of people that I got along with and clicked with in high school was low, and it wasn't that deep. It really wasn't, you know, for the most part. And it was really amazing when I went to college to find people, and after that, I still was able to find a couple, especially of the female variety, worked even better. I mean, that was even more amazing. But before that, I found, you know, such deep friends that I thought it was, I would never have wanted to let that go, and I never did. But it dissolved. I don't know how to cling my claws into someone and hold them in place. And that goes, you know, even for my loves. They've always flown away. Yeah, who would want to be with a crazy person? You know, there's this attraction to what I am or whatever at some point, but it gets tiring. It gets very tiring. And it's just, it's like it's all become this sort of dullness. I'm enjoying my games, I'm enjoying this life, I can see it stretching out forever with no hope, no expectation of it changing. This is the life I expected for myself when I was 16. The fantasies of whatever kind, and I've matched some of them. You know, I mean, the depth of the passion was like that. But others, of course, I didn't. I haven't destroyed the world yet, nor reigned over it, nor anything of that nature. But, you know, it's as though those have even completely died. It's like there's no desire anymore to go out and try to seek gamers. I was contacted by a wargamer who wanted to meet up, and it was almost sort of the perfect situation. Hey, let's just go out someplace, have dinner, have a drink, whatever, and chat, and, you know, kind of feel each other out, and maybe we'll end up gaming. And that didn't, I ran away from it. I ran away from it. It was too complicated. I mean, it's too complicated for me to do anything anymore. When I first got here, I would walk, 45-minute walk down to Tempe once, at least every 2 weeks, just for recreation. Sometimes 2-3 times a week, just to go to the park, see the night. I would go out dancing once a week at least, and in Eugene more than that. Before that, not, because that was the new passion in my life at that time, a little linked to the thought of finding someone as well. But it's like now, there is none. There's making videos, making my game videos. There's playing the games, trying to get through them, but that's duty. That's not passion. There's comfort with my wife. I think happier with her around than not, but it's just sort of there in that sense. It's like work or the games. There's no real driving desire anymore. It's very strange. Anyway, I wanted to just reminisce about these things. My thoughts turn more in these directions, even in this not terribly cold autumn. It's probably still in the 70s today. I still go swimming every day. But the air's a little different. You can kind of taste it and you feel it. Anyway, I figured I'd just share this. I don't know why. Just the feeling, came across me. And I didn't want to enjoy it as fully as I could by myself. And thought, well, maybe others would take something from it.